Let's make it so that when the NPC attacks us, we will lose some health. To do that, we're going to have to set up some health variables and a text field. So we want to go find our player and edit the script on our player. Okay, here's our player. First, let's set up that health variable. So up the top here in our when created block, we're going to set how much health we've got. So if we go to variables here and create a new variable, click create variable, and this should be named health. Health. And is it a true false type? No, it's going to be a number. Number health. Cool. And then that'll pop in here. We can drag that into when created. So when our player gets created, they're tagged as the player, and then they're going to get a health variable. And we should give it a value here in that little slot. We'll connect a number from operators. Go find this number block, 0. Connect it in. And what should our health start at? Up to you, really. I think 100 is a good starting health number. Now, we want to put some more blocks in here. We want to set up our text field as well. Just having the health number is not enough. We won't actually see it in the game. Text field will allow us to see some text. So we'll go to draw, and we want this block under text. Create text field with text. Let's grab that and connect that in. And let's name this HP, health points. Or you could name it health. And we could change its color as well. If we go to draw, under text, we can grab this block, set font color of text field. Set font color. And let's make it green. I might make mine yellow. The font color will be yellow. Okay, let's play the game and see what our text field looks like. Okay, that's a yellow HP floating up there. And if we go walk away, we can see it doesn't really follow us around. What we intend to do here is have our health displayed on the screen constantly up in this corner so that we can always see it no matter where we go. It's a little bit useless right now just sitting there, so we will close that again and get it to update its position. Now to do that, we're going to use our constantly block. Let's make a bit of space for some more blocks in our constantly block. We want to set the position of the text field, so the block for that is from transform. Set X position of myself to 0. Let's drag that out. And the X position, the horizontal position, is, well, we don't want to be setting the position of the player, so we'll get myself out of there. In there, we want to refer to the text field. Now, the text field is actually saved as a variable. You can see that's the variable there, text field, instance text field. So we'll go to variables, we'll grab instance text field and chuck that in there. Set X position of text field to, where is it going to go? 0? No, not 0. That would be up in the corner where it started. We want to set it to wherever the camera's position is. Now we can go to looks to find that block. Camera X, it's about halfway down. Under camera looks, camera X. And we also want to set its vertical position, so we'll duplicate that set X position block and change that X to a Y. So we're setting the Y position of the text field to camera Y. Good, that will update the position of the text field with every frame that runs. That's what that constantly block does. So let's play that now and see how our little HP text looks. There it is, up in the corner, but it's not showing me any health, and when I go and get in a fight, I don't lose any health either. So let's deal with that. Well, we've added a few blocks. Now might be a good time to save our game. I'll just close that script. File, save game. Back to my player script. Okay. Let's get our... What we might do next is get our player receiving that message. So if we go and look at our NPC script that we set up before, we got it saying broadcast NPC attack, NPC space attack. So I want to make sure I receive that on the player. Let's edit that player script again, and I'm going to add a new block for that from events under message sensing. When I receive a message, when I receive message, NPC attack, and you got to make sure you spell this the same as what you had in your other script. When I receive NPC attack, what am I going to do? Well, ideally we want to look like we've been hit and then lose some health, and we'll change that health variable and we'll get it to update in the text field. But for now, let's get it just animating so we can test if it worked. So from animation, we'll grab play animation name, play animation idle, and connect that into the message receiver. And we want our player to look like they got hurt when they are attacked by the NPC. So the animation that we should play is the hit animation, and it's going to be facing down. Hit down. And again, if you're not sure what animations you've got, you can edit. You can view the animations on your object and see what they are. There we go. Hit down. It looks like that. Pretty cool. Looks a bit surprised to be hit. Probably would be. Let's go back and edit that script. When I receive NPC attack, play animation, hit down. Good. And as we know, the animation will keep looping, so we will get it to stop looping. And we've got one here already, one of those blocks. So we can duplicate that. When animation, and this one we want to stop, is hit down. When hit down is looped, we're going to go back to walking. Or you could go back to playing the idle animation. Up to you, really. I think walk down would be fine. But how about try experimenting with the different animations that you play. So when I receive the attack, I'm going to get hit, and then I'll go back to walking once that loops. Let's test that out real quick. See if we can get attacked. Okay, good. We can get attacked. Alright. And we will end up doing our health. Okay, let's see what we have to do next. So now is when we want to get our health variable changing. Question, can you clone a variable from one script and put it into another object script? Good question. Let's test that out real quick, shall we? We've got our health. What if I wanted to set up a health on the NPC, which I do want to do. We'll do that soon. Let's test that out now. If I select this and go Control C, Control V, so that's how to copy paste. I'm going to go into my NPC and Control V, and yes, you can copy variables from one script to another, and that'll work. Now, the thing to know though is these variables are variables for each specific object, so each instance of that object. So if I've got a bunch of enemies, they're all going to have their own healths, and if we made it a global variable though, it would affect everyone, but we'll get to that in a sec. So on our player, we want to take some health damage when we get hit. Now, is this, yes, okay, so in here we want to say, when I receive that attack message, I am going to, we've got a little bit of a fade in there as well. Let's get the player fading as well, and then we'll subtract some health. So we'll use that from looks. We'll use the set alpha block. Set alpha of myself to 0. Let's make that 0.5 to fade them out a little bit. And then again, after a little time delay blocks from control flow. We want after 100 milliseconds have passed. Let's make that 500, so that's about half a second. So we'll get attacked, we'll play our hit animation, we'll fade out a bit, and then after half a second we'll fade back in, set alpha back to 1. Now, while that's happening, we want to lose some health. Now, in the tutorial, we've got it so that you lose some health when the animation loops, which can be a little problematic if the animation gets interrupted. So let's say the animation has 6 frames and it gets to playing the 3rd frame, and then you get hit again, and then you start playing the hit animation again. You go back to the 1st frame, it would never hit the 6th frame, and so this would never happen. So in my example, I'm trying to lose health when that animation loops, but that's not the best way of doing it. Let's get it to lose health as soon as we get attacked. So that would be in here. So to lose health, we want to change our health variable. So we'll go to variables and we'll grab set number health. And let's do that. Let's do that before we even play the animation. Set health to, now what are we going to set it to? Well, it started as 100. Let's just subtract from it. So we'll go to operators and we'll grab this 1 + 1 block, connect that in there and change that to a minus block. And we want this to say the new health will be whatever health was minus, let's say 10. So to get the current health value, we'll go to variables and grab number health. Number health. So the health will become whatever it was minus 10. This could be a different number if you wanted, doesn't have to be 10. So I'll lose 10 health and then I will get hit. Now, what I want to do is update that text field as well. Simply changing my amount of health won't do enough. If I go play the game, you'll see that. I've got HP up there, no number though. And I walk up to these guys and they attack me, and you can't actually see that I'm losing any health. So let's get that updating our text field in here. So we've subtracted some health. Let's go to draw and grab set text of text field. This is the block that we need to update the text field. So we'll grab that set text of instance text field, and let's put that one above the animation block. So we're losing some health, and then we're going to set the text of this text field to something. Now, what do we want the text to say? Ideally, it should say something like 90 HP or 10 HP. The way that we'll do this is by connecting a number with some text. So if I drag this text block out and try to put a number in here, you'll see what happens. If I go to variables and grab number health, try to connect that into there, because I want my number for my health to display in that text field, but it doesn't want to go in. It doesn't want to go in because this is a different data type. This is a number, and the text field will only accept text. So what I need to do is convert this number into some text. The way to do that is with this block from operators, go down. This create text with block allows us to join different types of data together and turn them into text. So that's operators under text, create text with. And the top slot will be the thing that's at the front, and the bottom slot will be the thing that's at the back of the text. So let's say you wanted it to say health is 90, then you would connect text in here and say health is space, and then put your number block in there, and it would say health is 90. You can play that to see it. And that's only happening when I get attacked. So let's see. There we go. Health is, oh, and see how quick it's happening as well? Every time I touch that NPC, it's subtracting some health. So that's a lot of damage. Let's close that. Back in here. I actually want to shuffle this around a little. I want it to say health and then space HP. So something like 90 HP or 10 HP or something like that. Yep, that was pretty dead. That's good. Now, when we played the game, we just saw HP to start with. So let's go and duplicate this create text with block. That'll give us whatever the current health is. And we'll put that up here in our when created set create text block with text. So instead of that just saying HP, it's going to say whatever our health is, HP. Let's test that out. And there we go. Able to lose HP, and it looks pretty good. But I'm losing way too much health. And really fast as well. What can we do to fix that? What can we do to fix that? I think what we should do is we'll add in something extra that will only take damage if we are fully faded in. So when we get attacked, we're fading out a little bit, right? And that lasts for half a second. What we could do is in that half a second while I'm in my damaged state, I'll say don't accept any damage while I'm being damaged, or else I'm just going to keep taking heaps of damage, and it's a bit unfair. So all of these blocks, we're only going to allow them to happen if we are fully faded in, if our alpha is 1. So to do that, we'll grab an if block from control flow, pop it up the top here, and all of these other blocks are going to connect inside that if block. So all this damage stuff, we should probably make a comment, right, describing what we're trying to do here. That's a good idea. Let's go to control flow and grab that comment block down the bottom. So inside the if block, our comment will say lose some health and animate being hit, and fade out as well, then fade back in. Well, that's a pretty long comment. Let's just make it lose some health and animate being hit, and then we'll make another comment down here which will say fade out and fade back in after half a second. Okay, now we're going to have another comment up the top which will say only take damage if we are what's the right way of saying this? Faded in, I guess. If we are damageable. We take damage if we are damageable. And we're going to, let's say, using alpha. Using full alpha. Okay. Now what we want to ask in this if block is if alpha equals 1. So let's go to operators and grab an equals block. And now we want to say if alpha equals 1. So we'll grab the alpha block from looks, get alpha of myself, and then in that side we want it to say 1. So we'll go to operators and grab a 0, connect that in there to say 1, using full alpha of 1. That's a better comment, isn't it? Okay, if alpha equals 1, that means we're fully faded in, we can take damage and we'll do all that, and then we'll go and fade out. So let's see what it does. Go and get attacked, and then we're only getting damaged every half a second. So that's a lot better than taking heaps of damage all at once. But we're still able to get into negative health, which is pretty unhealthy. At that point, we should probably be dead. So that would probably be what we would do next.